I made a video called Top 5 Adult Comics, but what about the other side of the world? Japan has released a ton of crazy shit, but sometimes it's only for really adults. And, you know, it's harder to find because some of the most popular anime or manga usually is shown more for the younger audience or the teenagers. Not to say there's not gems like My Hero Academia or Full Metal Alchemist, but the mangas that have stuck with me are honestly catered more towards the adult audience. So, this list is for manga that the younger audience might enjoy still, but I believe that the older audience, the adult audience, will find much more pleasure in reading. And that is not a pun. These are not sexual hentai mangas. These are adult mangas really made for adults to read. So, let's go. Coming in at number 5 is 20th Century Boys. Funny enough, the title has boys in it, but I believe this is for a much older crowd, a more mature audience. It's a story about the end of the world in a couple of ways, and that these adults are trying to stop that from happening, but you have flashbacks to when they are kids, and then you have flash forward when the future is already in pretty much a weird controlled environmental, don't want to get into spoilers, but it's weird as shit, but it's going through the adult to the kids to the future, and it's all about family and you know, betrayal and all these great things. And the reasons why I say that it's really more for a book for adults is that you kind of have to live the life of a child and get to the adulthood to really understand where these characters are going in their head and how they have changed throughout time. It's very similar to the book It, which I very much enjoyed when I was younger and read it, but I really loved it when I got older, and it became one of my favorite, if not favorite, horror book of all time. So that really captures the moment in this when you like it as you're reading it younger, but as an adult you can really relate to the kids but understand the adult point of view and then even the future view if you're a bit older. So this book really is more for adults and works on so many levels when you're older. Coming in at number 4 is Berserk. While Berserk has a lot of flashy, awesome fight scenes and some brutal, hardcore, gore-fest deaths, this title is definitely aimed for adults. Especially the first quarter of this manga, though, really focuses on Guts' past, and this is where I think adults will really enjoy it. It's a slower pace. It's more of a building up towards Guts finding his place in the world as a teenager, and then adulthood, becoming part of the Band of Hawks, and it's just really well done. And it's all about family and betrayal and death and adulthood and all these themes throughout the series that you won't really get until you're an adult. And then when it gets to the major twist, the first big event, and goes into after what happens, it's also dealing with post-traumatic stress and rape victim and all these great things that you really only understand once you're older and you've come to terms of what this world and how dark it can be. So I really love the themes of Berserk, and I think that you can only really enjoy them once you're older and you really understand the world in itself. And sure, the younger audience or teenage audience might really enjoy it, but I think that the adult audience will understand it, and this is definitely aimed for adults. Coming in at number 3 is Erase. Okay, so let's take a break from all the violence and let's talk about a story of childhood and learning what it is to be an adult. This is a murder mystery, and it's enthralling from start to finish. When a person has the power to go back in time and becomes a kid again to figure out why one of his classmates, or actually multiple classmates, were killed during his childhood, he has the power to change it. But it's the knowledge of being an adult and living a full life and trying to find out what you're worth and what you're here for. It makes it more entertaining or actually understandable to see why he would want to stop it, because he's seen it. As a kid, you don't really understand that. And this, of course, the story itself will affect the future when he changes the past. So it's both compelling and heartbreaking, and I think this tale is very well done, but it's really aimed for adults because you really understand the childhood part of it because you're an adult, and you always question as you're getting older what your point in life is or what you're trying to figure out. And I think this story does it fabulous, and it's actually one of the best manga and animes to ever exist, and it's definitely aimed for adults. Coming in at number 2 is Vagabond. Well, probably the darkest on the list next to Berserk, Vagabond is a gritty story of a swordsman going around Japan basically trying to just survive. It's actually about 2 swordsmen. One is blind and is trying to live kind of like a peaceful life, think like Rurouni Kenshin, basically, and one is more of a savage who's just on a mission to basically chop anyone up who's in his way. This isn't a tale for the young, and there's plenty of sex and violence and trying to figure out what it means to really live in life and what you stand for, and you get 2 points of views, which I really love. I also think to truly enjoy and understand and appreciate the culture of Japan, you have to be older because you have to understand where this manga is really flushing out those themes, and it definitely shows an interesting set of mind back in the day. So I really loved this. I enjoyed it when I read it as a teenager, but I loved it when I became an adult, and I think any adult really would take a lot of pleasure in reading this right now. Coming at number 1 is Monster. So, what's this about? Well, imagine you were a doctor, right? And you had a choice to save a person. I mean, of course you're going to do it because that's the right thing, right? However, what if you saved the life of a serial killer who then goes on a killing spree? Would you blame yourself? Maybe not directly, but would you feel some type of guilt? Then, what if you go after the killer? A compelling adult murder mystery thriller. This one needs to be in the hands of any adult looking for a manga to keep you glued to the page. Well, younger audience definitely might enjoy this one. I believe the adult audience will love its more mature, darker themes and a storyline that is just captivating. So this is definitely one of the best adult themed manga. Now listen, there's a ton of manga out there and anime that you really should read when you're older to really appreciate it, in my opinion. I would love to see some listed because I know I haven't caught all of them. Some of them I really do want to read that I haven't gotten around to, but please list your top 5 manga that you think are aimed for adults, that adults will really enjoy, or should be read only by adults. List them below. I hope you enjoyed this list, and everybody have a good day.